New Deus Ex game reported to be in very early development at Eidos-Montréal. Deus Ex is a cyberpunk-themed action role-playing video game developed by Ion Storm and published by Eidos Interactive in the year 2000, which combines gameplay elements of first-person shooters with those of role-playing games. The game received near-universal critical and industry acclaim, including being named Best PC Game of All Time in PC Gamer's Top 100 PC Games and in a poll carried out by UK gaming magazine PC Zone. It was a frequent candidate for and winner of Game of the Year awards, drawing praise for its pioneering designs in player choice and multiple narrative paths. It has sold more than 1 million copies, as of April 23, 2009, since its release in 2000. Set in a dystopian world during the 2050s, the central plot follows the story of JC Denton, an anti-terrorist agent employed by the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, UNATCO, as he uncovers a deep conspiracy, encountering fictional recreations of organizations such as Majestic 12, the Illuminati, and the Hong Kong Triads throughout his journey. First published for personal computers running Windows, Deus Ex was later ported to Macintosh systems, as well the PlayStation 2 game console, the latter under the title Deus Ex: The Conspiracy. Loki Games worked on a Linux version of the game, but the company went out of business before releasing it. A sequel to Deus Ex, titled Deus Ex: Invisible War, was released on December 2, 2003 for both Windows and the Xbox video game console. A prequel, Deus Ex: Human Revolution, developed by Eidos-Montréal, was released on August 23, 2011 in North America. 5 years later, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, the fourth major series installment and direct sequel to Deus Ex: Human Revolution, was released on August 23, 2016. The Canadian video game developer confirmed back in September that it was now the owner of Deus Ex. Work on a new Deus Ex game has reportedly begun at Eidos-Montréal. The series, which began with the original Deus Ex game in 2000, has been paused since Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, which was released in August 2016. According to a new report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, however, the Deus Ex series is now set to resume, with developers Eidos-Montréal working on a new game. Schreier added that the project is still in the very early stages of development at this time. Eidos-Montréal, which remains intact, cancelled the Stranger Things-inspired Kids on Bikes game that was rumored recently. They're now working on 1. A new IP, recently rescoped. 2. A new Deus Ex, very early. 3. Co-dev partnerships with Xbox, including Fable. Elias Toufexis, who voiced lead character Adam Jensen in Deus Ex: Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, said in a tweet yesterday, November 1, "I'm glad they are, seemingly, working on a new #Deus Ex. Please stop asking me because I don't know anything about it or if Adam Jensen is even going to be a part of it. I love the series and I hope to play Jensen again. I have zero info." Asked by one of his followers if he hated being asked by Deus Ex fans for updates on the game, Toufexis clarified, "I don't hate it really, I just wish I had some answers." Eidos-Montréal was formally acquired by Embracer Group back in August, and announced back in September that it was now the owner of Deus Ex. "As we've left Square Enix Ltd. And joined the Embracer Group, we are starting an exciting new chapter in Eidos-Montréal's history," the company said in a statement. To put things simply, the big change is that Eidos-Montréal, or its affiliates, is now the owner of the games it developed, like the Deus Ex and Thief games, and the controller of the data obtained from the various gameplay metrics tracked in its titles. Set in March 2052, Deus Ex depicts a cyberpunk-themed dystopian world. A lethal pandemic, known as the Grey Death, has ravaged the world's population, especially within the United States, and has no cure. Ambrosia, a synthetic vaccine manufactured by the company VersaLife, nullifies the effects of the virus but is in critically short supply. Because of its scarcity, Ambrosia is seemingly only available to government officials and a select group of industry leaders. Distribution of Ambrosia is controlled by the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, UNATCO, a paramilitary branch of the United Nations that was created to combat international terrorism. Within the United States, UNATCO's operations are supported by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, a government agency with the power to detain millions of people. UNATCO is opposed by the National Secessionist Forces, NSF, a militant group based in the United States, and Silhouette, a semi-organized band of intellectuals and pranksters headquartered in France. The setting of Deus Ex features advanced technology, including nanotechnology in human augmentation. As the most advanced form of augmentation, nano-augmentation uses nanites to give people abilities such as night vision, health regeneration, and resistance to toxins and physical trauma. By 2052, UNATCO has deployed its first nano-augmented field agent, Paul Denton, and is in the process of deploying another, Paul's brother JC Denton. Deus Ex is both a first-person shooter and a role-playing game. The role-playing parts extend not just to the character's skill customization, but also to the flow of the story. As JC Denton, the choices you make in dialogues, but more importantly in how you play the game, can alter events in the story. While the main path of the game is set in stone, there is a lot of room within that path for deviation in playing styles. Most game environments accommodate both stealthy and assault-oriented playstyles. For example, a building that needs to be infiltrated might be guarded by robots. You might sneak past the robots, lockpick the door, and go in undetected. You could hack a nearby security console and set the turrets to shoot at the robots. You could blow the robots up with rockets or grenades. Or, you could snoop around and find a completely different means of gaining entry. The player has the freedom of acting lethally or non-lethally. Most non-critical characters in the game can be killed. In some situations, killing an NPC may lead to unique dialogue or make the game more difficult. Deus Ex doesn't handle player choice like most modern games, in that it does not very often have a binary choice of doing A or doing B. There are choices to make that you may not even know existed because the game doesn't explicitly point them out. Because of this, Deus Ex is immensely replayable and rewards experimentation.